We do have a little bit more to share with you. I know some people are leaving, and if they ran out, that's okay. We can still keep sharing. If everybody can go ahead and just have a seat, and we'll keep on moving. My presentation really is going to be fast because we just kind of breezed through my time. What I want to tell you is my name is Meg. I am at the Autoimmune Encephalitis Alliance. The main thing we have that I think can be super helpful for people with AE is we have support groups. They're all via Zoom, so you can do them from your home. We've got usually 5 or 6 a month. There will be a group or maybe several that will really be helpful for you. We also offer something called, well, look, there I am. That's weird. The other way. Okay. I'm just going to go real quick because I want to give you, I think, what I think is the most important slide. There you go. That's the most important slide. You have my email address. So email me, reach out, and I can email you back. We can figure out how we can do things to help support you better. That's both people that are diagnosed with AE and caregivers. We also love to have people just get involved and engaged. There's more than just this, but that's the most valuable thing I think today, and that allows me to be done.
And the support group's great. I go.
Thank you.
You might vibrato. Yeah, you'll see it.
Yeah, now you get to have your face up there, the down button.
Down button, all right.
There you go.
All right. Go ahead, Steph. I don't want to trick you on it. How long do we have? What do we have, like 10 minutes? 5 minutes?
How long did this go till?
45.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay? All right, so I'm Neil Mathis. I'm in head of communications for the Stiff Person Syndrome Research Foundation. Now, when I normally talk about with people that I do work with the Stiff Person Syndrome Research Foundation, generally 2 things almost always happen, right? One is people go, oh, that's what Celine Dion has, right? She seems like she's doing okay. I saw her perform at the Olympics, right? The next thing is people go, oh, is this like the Stone Man person on like Game of Thrones who like turns to stone and gets hard? No. I mean, the reality is none of that really fits our community very well, right? And then I get to tell them the story that, well, this actually used to be known as the Tin Man disease, Tin Man syndrome, right? So clearly we've got some work to do on the naming element of this, right? The naming of stiff person syndrome just doesn't connect with people. It doesn't resonate the experience that everybody sitting up here feels, right? So we've got some work to do on all of this. We've kind of listened. You've heard the doctors talk about what it is and whatnot. I think the couple of slides here, a couple of elements here that I think are important to highlight. Number one is that on average, it takes over 7 years for someone to get a proper diagnosis on SPS. And in the meantime, a lot of times they're misdiagnosed. They have the wrong treatments that aren't helpful, actually are probably harmful for them in a lot of cases. And like just the education as a whole in the community group, in the medical community group, is just really off. And the heartbreaking thing to all of this is you sit here and listen to the experience that these people have, that they're sharing with us. And not only their friends, not only their families, but the medical professionals a lot of times will tell them that this is in their head. It is just, they're just, this isn't something, this is just you. You're too amped up. You just need to learn to relax, do yoga. This is the experience that they have, right? So this creates just a lot of, it's a traumatic experience at the end of the day, just getting to a diagnosis. It can be quite traumatic. All right, so with the SPSRF, like every nonprofit that you're gonna hear, our mission, 3 things: raise awareness for SPS, support research funding, and strengthen the community as a whole. But we've really pushed ourselves to go a little bit further than that, to put some our feet on the ground about what does that really mean, right? So, wrong one. So what is this? So the SPSRF is a patient-led organization. Our president, the founder and president, Tara Zier, has SPSRF. She got involved because she had, like everybody else here, there was a kind of emotional and stressful event in her life that led to sort of her first episode. It took over 5 years to be diagnosed. And after she was diagnosed and is talking to Dr. Scott Newsom at Johns Hopkins, Dr. Newsom talks about the idea that that they were denied grant money for research on SPS because there's not enough research on SPS, right? Like, it's almost comical if it wasn't actually true. So we're a patient-led organization. Every single thing we do is about keeping the patients at the center of our efforts, everything that we do there. Tactically, what does it mean when we talk about raising awareness, raising funds, supporting the community? A broad global reach. We want to be an organization for everyone around the entire world, not just those in the US. Driving awareness and ultimately influencing policy is really, really important for us. And then ultimately tearing down silos, bringing the best of the best together. There's too many instances that we've seen where research is walled in at an institutional or a research prospect level because they can't share the data with other people on the medical advisory boards, right? So our goal is to be the center of that, to tear those walls down, and to make sure, in a lot of cases, we lead the research so we can ultimately spread that data and share that data broadly, much more broadly than if it's held at a single institute. So 4 big initiatives that we're pushing. I'm not going to go too terribly deep into all of these, but really quickly, the global registry. So we launched the SPS Global Registry 5 weeks ago. Yes. Yeah.
And it asked me so many personal questions.
Yep.
Like, what's your gender on your birth certificate? What is your social? What is your, and it asked so many, like somebody could totally steal my identity from just this one questionnaire. What is the security on that?
The security is very, very tight. It is built around all the best practice protocols from a security perspective of the data being encrypted and whatnot. We have plenty of documentation. I'll be happy to share that with you so that you can see it and feel comfortable about it. I mean, that is something we took very, very serious as this was being built out. It took us over 2 years to build the platform out because we wanted to make sure we had it right. So happy to share that with you when we get wrapped up here. Yeah, absolutely. So the SPS Global Registry is it's a patient database where our patients are sharing their experiences, their medical records, their helping us gather the data that the researchers need in order to start driving research and clinical trials forward. In addition to that, we also have started to collect biosamples as part of a biorepository. So not only do we have your experiences and your medical records, but for those who have chosen to provide the biosamples, we have collections of blood samples that we can start to measure the results off of as well. In just 5 weeks, we've had over 100 people that have a confirmed diagnosis have already signed up. That is way faster than what we thought we would have at this time. So there's clearly a need, and our community sees it. And for those of you that have stepped up and have joined it, thank you for doing that, because that's the only way. Getting the data here is the only way that we're ultimately going to be able to get clinical trials rolling and have the right data for the researchers to use. The second one that we're looking at here is our diagnostic criteria study. So we have 12 different researchers who have come together, everyone from the Mayo Clinic, from Penn, from Johns Hopkins, are coming together and they're looking at the data set and to ultimately come up with as much as we can, a single consensus and a criteria for diagnosing SPS. We heard, I think one of the doctors here the other day or earlier talked about the fact that it kind of depends on what organization you are, and truly there are 4 or 5 different, around the entire industry, there are 4 or 5 different, criteria levels that different research centers use. So we're trying to bring those together to create one consensus around how do we diagnose SPS so that we have a more uniformed collection of how that happens. The SPS Symposium, as was mentioned, as Michelle mentioned earlier, we had that about 3 weeks ago up in Connecticut. We had 250 people in the room with us and nearly 450 to 500 people online. So altogether, almost 700 people joined us together. And I think it's a function of like what you saw here today, just being able to talk to somebody who has that experience and know that you're not the only one who is dealing with this is incredibly powerful. And so we're really, really excited about the momentum and the feedback that we get from the symposiums themselves. And when we look at where our attendees joined us from, it's across over 22 countries, joined us 3 weeks ago. And you know, our take on this is people are looking at this and they see the work that we're doing and they understand and see the value of us creating a global foundation here. So we're really excited about that. And then the final part is our relationships and partnerships that we're building with industry partners. Kyverna is in the back here, has become a huge sponsor for the work that we're doing. We're incredibly thankful for them. Why this matters to us is because we see that there's a role for us to play to be the conduit between our community members and the industry partners, biotech and pharmacy partners, in the sense that we can help bring our community members to their clinical trials to make sure that we have enough participation in it, and at the same time, we can act as the conduit to bring the voice of you as our community members to them so that they fully understand your experience with SPS as they're designing clinical trials. So we see that as really, really important. And then the final part to this is just frankly, this is expensive, right? This is expensive, and it is the lead in as to why we are soon to be launching a 3-year campaign to help us drive the financing around all of this. The registry alone runs north of $1.5 million that we've already put up. We've got to pay for that to some extent. So we have a 3-year campaign. I'm not here to ask you for money, but if you are an SPS community member, what I am asking for your help with is to share that out. As you begin to see messaging that comes through in email or social media, it's not about necessarily giving money, it's about sharing that out to your community, sharing it out to friends and families, because every little dollar is going to help us here as we continue these initiatives and driving forward. And unless we have the funding for it, we're never going to be able to like push these things across the goal line. So that's it for me. That's it. All right. Thank you, guys. Oh, you got a question?
How do we get to all this stuff? I didn't know anything about it.
Are you on our email list? Okay. Okay, then I will say this. I will say, okay, then I should have put a plug in here for it. stiffperson.org? Yes, stiffperson.org, sorry. And there is you can join the mailing list up at the top. There's join our mailing list button up at the top. And we share out monthly newsletters with updates on all of this stuff. Social media is also really big. All of our videos and presentations that we had at the symposium will be shared out over social media in the next week or two. So everything between our email list and our social media channels, that's probably the easiest way to sort of stay up to date with everything that we're doing. Yeah, it is Stiff Person. If you just type in Stiff Person, SPSRF, in most channels, that's going to get you to our channel. Yep.
I don't even know how, I just got an email one day from a random email
Yeah.
saying that this thing's going on in Connecticut
Yep.
over Zoom. We would have flown to Connecticut.
Yeah, I wish we'd gotten that to you sooner, because the in-person experience is definitely it's even beyond just what you get to experience online. Yeah. All right, thank you guys. Appreciate your time.